Hey, what's going on there, guys? So I wanted to finally talk about this game, Liza P. And unfortunately, I don't own the physical copy, but Liza P is really the first Souls game to resonate with me, and it's probably my favorite RPG experience that I've played this generation of consoles. So I started playing Liza P back in April this year, and the game released in, I believe, October or I want to say September of 2023. And I watched people play through the game, and I thought the game had a cool art style, and I liked what I saw from the gameplay mechanics. And I should probably talk about my prior Souls experience, which, Souls, the Souls genre, really was ushered in from Software, and the Demon Souls, the Dark Souls, the Elden Ring, Bloodborne, Sekiro, those games. That's what ushered in this new genre of games that has become very popular, one of the most popular genres in gaming. And I played Bloodborne back in 2019, which the game released 2015, so I was a little bit late to it, but I figured I want to try this out. It was regarded, and it still is regarded, as one of the best PS4 exclusives of all time. And I don't think Bloodborne never resonated with me as much as I would have liked. I think there was some ambiguity about the game and how to certain mechanics and items, and it definitely was a little bit of a learning curve, and it was a different style of game that I've played. And I got through the whole main story of Bloodborne, and I just beat it one time. I didn't play any of the DLC. I didn't, do New Game Plus or any of that. But I was kind of just like, I got my fill of Bloodborne, and I know Souls games are really meant to be endlessly replayable, and a lot of people love to do the New Game Plus and the DLCs. I just, at that point, I wasn't interested in continuing my playthrough, and maybe it was kind of just like, at that point, Souls games weren't fully clicking with me. But I think Bloodborne is a really cool, gothic tone to it. It has a cool atmosphere, and that's what really kind of stuck with me from that experience. So here we are in 2024 in April, and I'm just trying to think of a new game I want to play, and I want to think of a new game I want to play, and I want to, play something a little, maybe not different to me, but something I don't have too much experience in, and that's Souls games. Because, up to that point, I just played Bloodborne. And so I decided to get Liza P. I believe I got the deluxe edition on the PlayStation Store. It was on sale at the time. And, I just started playing it, and got through the first boss. I wouldn't say relatively easily. I think it took me a few tries. And then, I got through further into the game to the second boss, which I am drawing a blank on what the second boss name was. But it was like this big, almost enemy that looks like the Iron Giant. But I got to him, and hold on one second. So I got to the Scrapped Watchman. Now this guy was kicking my butt when I first got to him, and I was struggling mightily. And that was, at that point, I was like, okay, I gotta figure out a way to enjoy this game, like, because I was starting to get frustrated. I think and my patience sometimes can be short for bosses that just kick your butt endlessly. And you know, I probably, the first time I encountered the Scrapped Watchman, I probably died like 4 or 5 times, and I'm like, okay, so I got to figure out how to get more powerful. And of course, in Souls games, you know, you get the, whatever it may be, the souls. In the case of this game, it's Ergo to level up your characters. And I'm trying to see here. I don't have the specific location of where I was farming for Ergo, but I've just been, this is a lot of what my time with Liza P has been. Just me farming for Ergo. And I know, you know, it's not all about leveling up, but I have really just enjoyed just farming for Ergo, leveling up my character, getting stronger, and eventually, you know, going back to certain bosses that I might have struggled with and beating them. And yeah, it's not all about leveling up. It's also, you know, no matter how high your level you are, you still have to, you can't just like relax and kick back all the time. You still have to be on your game. It definitely makes it easier. But I don't know, there's something this game scratches in my brain, the leveling up system. I really enjoy getting stronger. And it's like, I've been watching, I got into Dragon Ball this year, and I watched through all of Dragon Ball the original series, Dragon Ball Z, and you know, I've enjoyed just like watching the characters in that show get stronger and stronger. And I don't know, I think it's kind of funny. I started watching Dragon Ball right around the same time I started playing Liza P, and it's just something about watching the characters get stronger. And you know, it's like I encountered the Scrapped Watchman, and I was, you know, I wasn't even a Super Saiyan at that point, to give you a Dragon Ball reference. And then I came back after, I want to say I was farming for Ergo. I mean, when I first started, when I was farming to get more powerful against the Scrapped Watchman, for 10 hours. No lie. I want to say I farmed enough Ergo to get all my levels, all my stats up to level 25 at the time. I might have got some to 30. I want to say that's where I was. And at the time here, I'm just trying to, I just recorded this video last night. I'm trying to see where my stats are. But I want to say all my baseline stats are... Oh, here we go. Okay, so they're almost... A few of them are at 67, 66. I think I might have done a little bit of farming after this, but I know, you know, the mantra with a lot of these Souls games is get good. And have I really gotten good? I don't know if I've got good, but I'm definitely, you know, I enjoy just leveling up, and I enjoy understanding the mechanics and understanding the boss patterns, which I have a certain level of patience for. There's some people who just, you know, not worry too much about the leveling up process and just play through a boss over and over and over and over again. Even if it takes them 100 tries, they'll eventually get it. And sure, I understand that. I don't really want to play that way. I would rather just try, you know, okay, I'll try 3 or 4 times, and if I can't get by the boss, I'll go back to my farming spot. And there's like specific spots in Liza P that are better for farming Ergo. And you just, you know, I just defeat the same enemies over and over again. Then I just summon back to well, it's not a campfire in this game, but you know, the checkpoint spot. And I just do that over and over again, and I, you know, listen to the podcast, listen to music while I do it, and I just enjoy it. It's something satisfying about that, for me. And you know, Liza P's story is kind of, it's not something I really think about too much when I'm playing. I enjoy this game for the gameplay. This is a gameplay experience for me, and I love being in this world. I think there's a cool atmosphere to it, and like I said before, I love the art style of it. It has some good music, and I like the weapons in this game, and I've enjoyed playing around with all the different weapon types, and the Legion arms, which are a cool feature. Which there's different types of Legion arms, of course, and I'm just trying to see here. I think I've recorded a video of me just the other day, just playing around with all the different Legion, not Legion arms, but weapons. Is it here? No. This might have been it. Yeah, so I have a lot of weapons, and I don't know if I've found every weapon in the game, but you know, each weapon has different pros and cons. You know, some weapons are big and heavy and slow, but they have a high physical attack. Some weapons are really fast with kind of a low physical damage, and you know, they have all these Fable arts, which are like special abilities for each weapon. So for most of the game, or a good part of the game, let's see if so for a good part of Liza P, I've been using Ajura Dragon Crescent Glaive. I probably just butchered that pronunciation, but I love that weapon because it has a good reach, and you can swing it around pretty fast. It's got a high physical damage amount, and I've maxed it out. And of course, it's a special weapon. And yeah, and the Frozen Feast I just acquired. It's a weapon you have to buy from a specific vendor in the game. So yeah, and I've tried to play around with different combinations of, you know, Legion arms and weapons, and I can equip 2 weapons at once, so I can switch back and forth. And lately, or for a while now, I've been doing the acidic crystal spear, which is a dagger, and you know, it's fast paced, and I like it with its advanced attack. You know, so you got the acidic, the fire, the electricity, the frost. So it's imbued with acid. So when you attack people, you do the acid damage with the physical, and I like that it's so fast paced. And this is my preferred farm and Ergo weapon, just because I can just like run around and use this weapon and defeat enemies in my way pretty quickly. And I want to talk about the DualSense Edge. And I bought the DualSense Edge pretty much because of Liza P. So yeah, if you watched my last video, you would have heard me talk a little bit about the DualSense Edge. I think this is an overpriced premium edition of a DualSense, but for Liza P, I think this does make a difference. And so, you know, in Liza P, to dodge or sprint, you press circle. So without the back paddles, which this controller has, you know, you have to take your thumb off the right stick, which obviously controls the camera. But if you map circle to one of the back paddles, then you can keep both your thumbs on the sticks and, you know, dodge and run around, and it just makes the game moving around, the movability, if you want to call it, and dodging that much easier. And I mapped circle on the right back paddle, and on the left back paddle I mapped L3, which in this game to jump you need to hold down. So you hold down circle to start running, just like other Souls games, and I'm pretty sure it's just like other Souls games. But you hold down circle, and then you press L3 to jump. So, I mean, you're not jumping too often in this game, but it's nice to have it instead of having to... I don't really like having to click on the left stick to get the L3 input, but I don't know. I find this a very comfortable experience for playing Liza P. And obviously, yeah, it does help you a little bit. It does enhance your gameplay. But I think DualSense Edge is good for certain games, and I think Liza P it's really good for. And a lot of times I will have this plugged in, which it comes with a nice braided cord, so you know it's the input is just going to be less latency in the input if you have it plugged in to your console, which I don't always do. Sometimes I'm just not in the mood to plug in my DualSense Edge, but I think DualSense Edge is a good product. I think it's overpriced, and I mean, you look at Xbox, how they have their premium controller, I believe is $50 less than this. So, I mean, I don't know. I think PlayStation should at least drop the price to $150, but I don't know. But anyway, yeah, DualSense Edge for Liza P has been worth it, but it's overpriced. So I do apologize there, guys. A portion of the video, the mic dropped out, so I just want to kind of just like quickly re-summarize of what I was stating in the part that I cut out. But I did play Elden Ring earlier this year, and I played Elden Ring after I had gone by Liza P, the full story for the first time, and you know, saw it to the end. And you know, I thought about doing New Game Plus of Liza P after my first playthrough, but I decided to try out Elden Ring, and I thought Elden Ring was very impressive, but I was a little bit overwhelmed by just this big open world with, it was like almost so much freedom coming from Liza P, where maybe it was a little bit jarring for me having that much exploration freedom, and I decided to put the game down after 30 hours, and I just decided, you know, I'm going to go back to Elden Ring at some point, but for now, Liza P is that one Souls game that I just want to play and, you know, complete, and eventually I will go back to the other Souls games. So yeah, at this point, I'm actually coming back, since I came back to Liza P, and I'm in my New Game Plus second playthrough. So, and you know, I'm just been, like I've been saying, farming for Ergo and leveling up my character, and yeah, and I'm looking forward to the DLC that's going to be coming out. So let's get back to the video. So Liza P is based off, I believe this is an Italian novel that came out, I think it came out either in the late 19th century or early 20th century. It's called Adventures of Pinocchio, which I haven't read. And of course, you know, the Disney movie Pinocchio, which is a lot different version. And so I think this paragraph here kind of sums up the story pretty well. Let me just move my face cam here. So Liza P is a retelling of the classic Adventures of Pinocchio in the form of a Soulsborne game. Player takes control of P, who has to work through the dystopian city of Krat. Along the way, he'll meet characters with familiar names to the original story and learn what it takes for him to become a real boy. So, yeah, during don't want to get too deep into the story. And honestly, I have a hard time kind of explaining the story because, well, frankly, it's not the reason. It's not the primary reason I play Lies of P. You know, it's I like reading the little letters you get and that kind of build on the lore while you're playing the environmental storytelling. But the reason why I love Lies of P is its gameplay and its systems. It's just I honestly, it's Lies of P, I think, is my favorite gameplay experience I've had this generation of consoles, and I just really dig the gameplay, and it scratched something in my brain that it's really satisfying to play for me. So yeah, with Lies of P, I just want to be a completionist with this. I want to max out everything. I want to get every collectible. I want to get the platinum trophy, which at this point I've got 60% of the trophies in the game. So I just really dig this game and the vibes I get from it and just playing the game. And I'm looking to get more posters for my backdrop here, and I think Lies of P will be one of the games I get a poster for, because this game is definitely in the conversation right now. It's one of my favorite games this generation, and I know this game isn't reviewed as high as some of the From Software Souls games, and I haven't played many Souls games at this point, but for me, this is my favorite Souls experience thus far. Like I said, I played Bloodborne, I played a little bit of Elden Ring, and probably at some point I will go back to those experiences. Oh, and I should say I did play Demon's Souls, the remake, on PS5. I didn't play it that long though, and then it wasn't scratching the right itch at that point, I guess you could say. I know I keep saying that, but Demon's Souls actually is one of the best looking games that I've played so far this console gen. That's just a very beautiful game and it runs well. But I will probably go back to play Demon's Souls, Bloodborne, and Elden Ring at some point. But for me, Lies of P is my Souls game. It's my comfort food game. It's a game I've played more than any game this year by far. And yeah, I just really love Lies of P. And I honestly think it's underrated. Like, it has, I believe, somewhere in the low 80s on Metacritic for critical scores, and I think user scores are around the same. I mean, which is still really good. But it's not like From Software, where From Software is coming out with like Elden Ring at 96 from critics, and yeah, it seems like every From Software game is usually 90 plus on Metacritic. But yeah, I think maybe Lies of P is finally that game that just made me, okay, I now understand why people love these games and are addicted to these games and put many hours into them. I'm not going to pretend like I'm some amazing player in terms of my skill level. I find comfort in this game and just getting stronger and leveling up, and that familiarity with the mechanics. And yeah, it's very much a comfort food game for me. Like MLB The Show and Road to the Show, and I play that a lot too. It's just one of these games that I love, that I can just listen to podcasts and just farm for Ergo, and I've played through the game enough where I'm quite familiar with all the different environments, and I love the linear structure to it. Like, I know some people have a problem with, oh, the game's too linear. It's like, no, I love that about it. There's too many open world games out there. And I did see an article earlier this year that Lies of P2 is in development, and they're thinking about, or I don't know about thinking about, but it's been rumored that Lies of P2 is going to be open world, which I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. I really liked the linear structure to these games, or to this game, I should say. And I also like that in Bloodborne. So I don't know. We'll see. I will be playing Lies of P2 whenever that comes out day one. And I wanted to also say just developer of this game, which drawing a blank on right now, is they're a South Korean developer, which I don't believe I ever played a game that was made by a South Korean developer. So it's kind of, it's kind of different, but I think they did a great job with this game, and I wonder if this game is going to be like one of these underrated classics for years to come that people talk about. It's like, oh, I mean, everyone talks about the From Software games and how great they are, but what about Lies of P? And I want to give the Lies of P developer credit because I can't remember their name. Is it, all right, Newitz and Round 8 Studio. Okay. But yeah, I think those studios did a great job with this game, and I really enjoy talking about Lies of P. I really do. And I feel like I'm rambling on at this point, but like, this game has had a huge impact on me this year, and like, it's my game of the year for 2024, even though it came out in 2023. But in terms of games I played this year, this is my favorite game this year. And I played Silent Hill 2, which I loved as well, but I mean, both are obviously different experiences, and both are excellent games. But for me, in terms of games I played this year, and I got the big boy out, the big weapon. Lies of P is my favorite game I played this year of any game, and I look forward to playing many more hours of it. And yeah, I would say if Souls games have never clicked for you, but you're trying to get more into Souls games, I feel like Lies of P is a more approachable Souls game. Not to say there isn't any ambiguity with it. I think this game is more user friendly than Souls games, or a lot of the Souls games. But I think this game has opened my eyes more to the Souls genre, and I think it's just clicking with me more, this type of game. And yeah, and I mean, I would say, as I said earlier, I think this is one of my favorite RPG experiences, just because I really enjoy the RPG mechanics, of leveling up my character and getting stronger. And that's, what at the core of an RPG, what it should be. It should be, you really enjoy getting stronger and learning new abilities and getting new weapons and, all that. Which I shouldn't have been using this weapon here. A lot of times I was just like hitting the wall. But yeah, Lies of P, I really, really, really enjoy it. And the gameplay is great, the music's great, the art style is great. The story, even though I don't really understand it that much, is intriguing. And yeah, I just want to experience this game to the max. And that's probably how I would wrap this video up. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, subscribe, and the response to my last video, I really appreciate it there, guys, the response. And I enjoyed making that video too, and I enjoyed making this video. And I think my closing question for you, if you want to leave it in the comment section, is where do you think Lies of P ranks in terms of Souls games? And for me, it's number one, but obviously I'm not really a seasoned Souls veteran at this point. But I find this game very charming. There's a certain charm to it that I really dig. So yeah, Lies of P is awesome, and I would say, anyone that's trying to get into the Souls genre, I would say Lies of P is a good game to start with. Or maybe if you've tried From Software games before and they haven't clicked with you, but you want to get into the Souls genre, I think Lies of P is an excellent choice. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a good day. I will see you in the next video.